Hello, everybody. Today, I'd like to welcome Chi Sam. You may have seen her at the beginning of the year in the video, 5 Things to Do Before Chinese New Year for the Best 2022. Here we are again, mid-year, midway through the year to get an astrological update. In today's video, we're going to cover a lot, but the 3 big categories are the period shift that we're currently in and how the future is female, if there's something we should change in 2022, or if we just should sit tight, hold on, and see it through and finish off. And lastly, how to take these big forecasts and take all of this information and personalize them. I hear from my clients all the time, and really recently, they're on information overload with everybody having a YouTube, Instagram account talking about manifesting and all this stuff. They don't know where to start. So I'm going to share my own experience, how I use Feng Shui and these BaZi, knowing this BaZi information monthly, and how you can use it to make leaps and bounds and big changes and really customize this information to you. So we're going to give you an overview, and then we're going to tell you how to take action for you specifically moving forward so you can see improvements in your life. So Chi Sam's here to share all her wisdom.
Well, thank you for inviting me here. You know, I love any time I can spend with you, Jeanette. You're my favorite colleague, and I love chatting. And I was just listening. I'm thinking, I feel like we need to say, get a glass of wine and just ride out the year. Like, it's been that kind of a year, right? It really has.
Yeah.
It is going to be better. And, you know, one of the questions you asked me to talk about was, you know, the future is female. You just said that. So that's a big thing I want to touch on right now. And I'm aware that we've got all different types of listeners today, but the future is female. So there's a massive shift. And as women, we're feeling that, and we don't fully understand what we're feeling. Do you want me to explain why that is, Jeanette? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love to, in my practice, I love to not get technical, but I have to get a little bit technical here. So I know that you've explained to a lot of your followers about Feng Shui, about numbers and stars, and there's 9 numbers, and I think you've talked about them a little bit. So I kind of call them the Brady Bunch of metaphysics. So in this Brady Bunch of metaphysics, we have a family. Right now, we're in a period of time where one family member is leading the way. You could say it's a president, a prime minister, whatever you like. But this one family member who's leading the way is a young boy. He's spoiled. His name is Gun, which is G-E-N, not gun, but it's pronounced Gun. And he's entitled, he's spoiled, he doesn't know how to lead, he's little. And we've had that for 20 years. Now, if you're thinking, well, what does that mean? How many people do you know that have a sense of entitlement, that think they should just have everything? They don't necessarily want to work for something. And I'm not going to slam the younger generation. I have children in the younger generation. but they do have a sense of entitlement. They do. It's kind of like, no, I'm supposed to have a really high paying job my first year out of uni. And I'm like, really? We had to work like 10 years to get there. And so we're in this period of time, and it changes in 2 years, but the change is happening now. Yeah. So a new Brady Bunch member is stepping up, and her name is Lee. Lee is Gun's older sister. Now there are 3 sisters because it's a real Brady Bunch. Lee is a whole different ballgame. She is not the youngest sister who is a little bit spoiled and party girl. She's not the oldest sister who's kind of like mom and a little bit like, you have to do it this way. She's like Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. She's just right. So we're going to move from a period of time where we've wanted everything downloading to our phone in 2 seconds flat. Everything our way. Tickets, you know, we want airplanes really cheap, but we don't want to, you know, we don't want to pay for stuff. We just want everything our way. We're evolving now, and that shift is occurring. And the future is female, because as Lee takes control, and she's taking control now, she's entering our consciousness. And women are being pushed to stand up and to take ownership of their life and what they want. And this is what we're feeling. I got a lot of female clients. You probably do too, Jeanette.
Yeah.
Who are confused, and they're coming to me like, oh my God, I'm thinking of leaving my marriage. I'm thinking of changing careers. I don't understand. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. But nothing can stay the same. We're changing time, we're changing leaderships, and the future is female. So women, own it. You have worked hard to get here. You deserve to take those next steps. That's the first bit I wanted to share. So yeah.
Yes, it does make sense. I don't break down the family members too much when I do the monthly feng shui forecast, but for everybody listening who is getting more familiar with the flying stars because they see it in the monthly feng shui forecast, we're talking about numbers 8, that's the youngest son, and number 9. Yes. And I love the example, or I like pointing things out as they happen. So look at period 8, which is 2004 to 2024, and look at who got successful. We had Mark Zuckerberg's, right? We had all these like young tech guys get really, that's the best example in these past 20 years. So now the example will be women. And I'm not very hip to what's going like current. I don't read any news or gossip any things, or so I don't know what women are on the rise now, but I'm sure if I were to go and look, right, well, one, we have a female vice president here in the US, but also just young women in general will, similar to the men in the tech companies that came up, we have women who will start to be more front of camera, innovative. Yeah.
And it's different. So to give you an example, you just named the years, which was great. Thank you. 2004 to 2024 is period 8. This leader, this young leader. So before him, we had his other sister, the younger sister named Doi, D-U-I. Sounds good, actually, D-U-I. But Doi. Doi is all about the mouth. So between the period of 1984 to 2004, we had phenomenal female singers. Madonna. I mean, she's the one that comes up with all the female singers. We also had a real burst of people on TV using their voice to coach. Tony Robbins. All these people just exploded in that period of time because
infomercials.
So she was leading. So it doesn't always just mean male or female, but she was a young girl who was very chatty and gossipy. So everything was like, you got to do this, you got to do that, and all the voice. Then she went out, Gun came in, and he's like, and he represents the hand as a body part. So Doi is the mouth, Gun is the hand. So we kind of stopped, and women were stopped. Okay, they wanted to break the glass ceiling, but they were stopped firmly. Lee is going to lift the glass ceiling off because her body part is the eyes and the spiritual eye. So it's not that we're all going to become tree huggers and go live in a hippie realm somewhere, but we're actually opening our spiritual eye, which means, and that's here, which means we're getting more wise. So that's why she's the perfect leader coming up. She is powerful. She is capable. She will not spout off gossipy. She will not be flippant or rude. She will lead very cleverly and eloquently. So Kamala Harris is a great example. We will see more. So I'm telling all my corporate clients, hire more women. Make sure the women are rising, because you are going to need them in top positions. They have to do the work. They have to be capable.
Right. None of this is about...
No, none of this is just about, you need to fit a quota. Absolutely not. But women are rising, and it's powerful women. It's different from before.
And to your point about it being men and women, that's where you look at, if you're a man, you're like, what? What's the future for me? You look at that body part, right? You look at, things, the metaphysical is coming in, intentional is coming in, the eyes, that third eye kind of.
So we will see the men that will do well in period 9, and period 9 is on its way. We don't wait till 2024. It's moving in now.
Yeah, it's like
the door opened in December 2019, right when COVID happened. That's what was happening. So the door is opening and the shift is occurring. Men that are emotionally intelligent are the ones that will stay ahead of the game. So men that are, I'm going to say, old-fashioned, they're going to be in trouble. You've got the men, open up your emotional intelligence and lead with that, because you've got to use your wisdom and your third eye, and put capable women in powers of position. So it's actually quite simple. It's quite simple.
Quite simple. And it's actually, I listen to a lot of male, I resonate with like male teaching, male talking. I talk about Ed Milet all the time, and even the real Bradley, if you guys are familiar with him, two very masculine men that are starting to talk more about emotional intelligence. And these aren't coincidences. These are the universal shifts. These are the shuttle shifts where they listened to their intuition. They were like, now might be the time to start teaching men about this. And that's how these things come about. It's not like God gave them the handbook and was like, you just get a heads up. Here's a heads up. Start talking about this. This is the period. It's like it's those who listen to their intuitive shifts are ahead of the game a little bit. And so those two big figures, again, and they're just a funny example because they're these very masculine men that are like, men, you need to start like, listening to your wives. No, just kidding. But
Ed Milet is a good example, right? And then you look on Instagram with all the relationship coaches. I'm trying to think, Mark Groves, Matthew Hussey. They're all really focusing on emotional intelligence. They know. They're smart. And they will fly. So it's not that men can't do well in period 9, but we are heading to a technological era. It is wisdom. It is from above. So it is It's still technical. It's still online. It's still going to massively fly. But people are going to be way more interested in what we do, Jeanette, because they're realizing that it holds great value. They don't understand it. They don't need to, but they're understanding it has a huge play in their world. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah. Very exciting. Okay, so tell us more. Tell us more about what we do is you just kind of fall into the shift. It will just happen. Life will just kind of unfold. But tell us what else we should shift to make it a smoother transition.
Yeah, it's a good time because we're just starting the September month. So I know your followers, you were teaching them really well, and they understand the solar month. So September 7th is the beginning of September. And I actually was really big about August. August was a pivotal time. We reached a halfway point in the year, and we've reached a point of no return. And no return is quite interesting because it means nothing can stay the same. I'm going to say that again. Nothing can stay the same. So what's happened in August is that landed at our feet. Nothing can stay the same, but we weren't ready. And also August was what we call a Fu Yin month, where the energy just did not interact. It hit. So when Fu Yin happens, it means stop, dead stop. It means and sometimes you have to retreat. We didn't have to retreat. But the energy has also shifted, and we are now working towards the winter solstice, right? We had the summer solstice. Now we're working. So the energy is actually reversed. I don't know if people realize that, but now the stars, the flying stars in Feng Shui, they're actually going backwards now. So because as we approach, so the reason I've been sort of telling everyone the second half of the year is better is because now we have a yin moment, and this year, 2022, is run yin, yang, water, tiger. Everything about that is yang. So in the first half of the year, that yang met more yang, no interaction. It needs yin. So now the second half of the year, the tiger can actually interact with the year. So the chaos that we've had, the anxiety we've had, the directional changes, everything keeps shifting, will slow down. Because yin is now here to work with the tiger and actually calm it down. It's kind of like saying, hey, that tiger that just keeps jumping, now the year is going to stroke the tiger's back and say, it's okay, just sit down, just calm down. And we'll feel that, and we are feeling that now. So that this is a really, really good thing, because when we hit that Fu Yin moment, when it just hit, it was tough. We all felt heavy. We have a sense of lightness. So finishing out the year, the biggest tip for finishing out the year, I know we've got more to talk about, but is to understand that nothing can stay the same. Do not look backwards. You see, we're also entering a time of Mercury retrograde, which means we look backwards. We are drawn to reevaluating our past. We pick on a scab. We go back and we anxiously think about things from our past. Please don't do that. The past is the past. This Mercury retrograde, this month right now, is going to encourage us to just be ourselves and actually own up to what it is you want. And I just wrote a blog and I said, the first half of the year, it's like a garden. The garden wasn't growing very well because the topsoil wasn't there. The water just wasn't absorbing. We had to rip all the garden out, put the topsoil back in, and then put new sod on top. And now we can grow. So now we will grow. So it's a very good time we're reaching a good time. However, stock markets are still volatile. Lots of things are still volatile. The tiger is still in charge. And when a tiger's in charge of the year, you've got unpredictableness. You just do. But I was looking up something called the hexagram. So there's 64 hexagrams, and I look at them each month when I give out these forecasts I do called QiCast. And the hexagram this month is number 56, which is traveling. Now, again, I don't want to get technical, but each month we know it as March, April, September, October. But in metaphysics, you and I know that we look at them as, ox month, dragon month.
I was just going to bring this up, actually. Explain to people how animals are, this is perfect. Yeah. Cause I was just going to say, explain to people how animals aren't like, I don't know who would think it's actually a tiger, but for people to understand, their animals represent different seasons, but.
Yes. So, and the Chinese, there's 12 Chinese animals. And just like there's 12 months, really, they're just markers of time. So instead of saying it's April month, I might say it's dragon month. Instead of December, it's rat month. But it's more than that. So I will be cheeky and use analogies of the tiger being a prowler and pouncing and, attacking and retreating, because it's not that the tiger is here but his essence is.
Yeah.
So it's his
The characteristics.
characteristics. Yeah. And yeah, we get a bit cheeky and fun and have it, but I do that so people remember.
You're so good at it. This is exactly
Yeah.
why you amazing people love that, because you make it understandable. Yeah.
I do.
So
good.
cheat
And
away.
thank you. Yeah, I do like to do that because it's very complex. Metaphysics is very complex, and the more you know, the harder it gets.
But not everybody is like us, where they can talk about it or care to talk about it for hours and hours and hours. They're like, just explain to me what I'm supposed to do. I don't care.
Exactly.
So, anyway, you make it fun with the characteristics.
I try to. I was just explaining to someone the other day about changing from period 8 to period 9. Mm-hmm. They didn't quite get the Brady Bunch, so I said, okay, let's do it this way. She runs. I said, you're in a relay race. As the baton is being passed to you, the runner's coming up from behind. They begin to slow down and run out of energy, so their power is lacking. They pass the baton over. You could drop the baton, or you're nervous you're going to drop the baton. So you're looking behind and you're panicked. And I used to do relay. And you grab the baton, you're like, got it. And then you run. Mm-hmm. So there's this weird moment where both of you are thinking, don't drop the baton. Don't drop it. And that's where we're at. We're at this unsure moment of transition and time. But it's an important time because don't go back. That's my biggest thing is don't go back. Yeah. But the 12 animals are great. But the rooster, this month of September, the reason why when you said, hey, you want to come and chat about this, I'm like, yes, I do. The rooster is going to help put discipline back in. The tiger had a bit of fun with us and had us going in every direction. Every plan we made had to change. Everything we did had to change. The rooster is going to be like, hey, enough. Let's get some structure in. So my advice to everyone, all my clients this month, is to create structure, whether it's fitness, your calendar, whatever it is you want. Just create some structure because we need it now. We've had a bit of a wobble and we need structure to be able to go forward. And keep your goals low. Keep them attainable. Because the tiger is still here and the tiger is still going to mess with us a bit as we finish out the year.
What I thought was really good timing, and we're very seasoned in working with our intuition. We're very seasoned in like going with the flow now. So nothing ever surprises me anymore. When things all just fall into place, I'm like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to go. But I still get very excited when I have these aha moments. I went live for this August, so for September's feng shui forecast, and I brought up August again, and since it was live, I had the aha moment along the way, but I said, what a wonderful example. We just had August and everybody felt the stagnation. Everybody felt the lack of intercourse of energy. And it was a wonderful month to really point it out to people. It clicked for people. They were like, okay, so everybody, when you hear changes coming and nothing can stay the same, just remember how annoying August was. Yeah. Remember how annoying it was to not have change, to not have energy pushing you forward, to not have this dynamacy. So remember that annoyingness of it, whether it showed up in your relationships, whether it showed up in pending invoices and like sales not going through and everything just was like blah and just sat. Now it's exciting that everything's moving forward. The change is good. Think of it that way. Like, yay, energy is pushing us forward again, because sitting still was really frustrating.
It was hard. And going back to the animals and the characteristics they have. So there's 12 animals in the 12 months, 12 Chinese animals. 4 of them are traveling animals. 4 of them are what we call graveyard animals, just means they hold something secret. And 4 of them are cardinals. So the tiger, who's in charge of 2022 and still has 6 months to go, he's a traveling animal. So he creates movement. So that was our first indicator that nothing could stay the same. We have to move. But then people say, well, do you mean physically move, Sam, or emotionally move? Well, the first half of the year was physical move. Now here it's here. We have to change our mindsets. We have to move our minds. And that is very, very important going forward. And the rooster is a cardinal animal, which means she's very pure. So again, you've got a male tiger and a female rooster. And I'm being a bit flippant, but that's kind of what they are. So there's interaction. So they like each other. They're fine. And she is going to discipline the tiger and just say, hey, enough of this shit. Pay attention and let people get ahead. So this is why it's a good month to set your intentions.
Yep, set intentions.
Set your intentions and keep them realistic. It's okay to have a long list, but I'm always like, no, pare it back. Reach something, then set a new one.
Stacking small wins. We talk a lot about here.
I think as a people, we don't celebrate the small wins.
Mm-mm.
I think we are conditioned to, okay, I just achieved that, on to the next thing. I watch my son do it all the time, and I'm like, Mackenzie, celebrate what you just did. He's like, oh no, I just did that, so now I'm on the next one. I'm like, no. I applaud everyone just taking a moment saying, hey, I did that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
did. Yeah, you did. Well
Yeah.
done. Right?
Yeah.
Stop racing for something that is not achievable and possibly not yours.
Yeah. Well, and stacking the small wins is what, again, to bring up Ed Milet, this is basically just my channel at this point is just like a commercial for all of his things. Building confidence is the characteristic of keeping promises to yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to build confidence in your ability, if you want to feel confident you will get this big goal that seems unrealistic right now, you have to stack the small wins, because you have to build the confidence so that you even feel worthy of this thing you're shooting towards. If you don't, you'll never get here because you won't feel worthy of it. You'll be going through the motions. Stack the small wins, celebrate them along the way, and they build to get you to that point. So you have to celebrate it, or even just accomplish small things at a time. It's what stacks and builds. So that is what we will do moving forward. Tell us about, you started talking about the hexagram. So what is the hexagram telling us for this month?
It really is very simple. It's the traveling of the mind. So it's traveling hexagram. But it's because of the way it interacts with the rooster, in my opinion, it's traveling of the mind. So it's moving, it's shifting your mindset.
Okay.
And it's beginning to move. So we're beginning the movement. So there's a different one each month. So it's actually quite simple. That's all it is. It's opening up the mind. Yeah, it's an in this one is, even though it's traveling, there's an observant line in there, which is why I know it's not moving. When we're observing, we're standing still usually, right? We're watching something. So that's why we're traveling in our minds. We are observing. And my big thing this month that I've been talking about in my podcast and everything is about the life journey. September is actually going to show you your life journey, not purpose, journey, because it's the journey ahead. And do you remember, you and I were chatting one day and you asked me about how each month, I had made a statement about this year, each month represents a year. And you're like, Sam, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just thought, because it applies here. So there are 64 hexagrams, but there are 60 cycles of these animals. It gets a little bit multi-layered. But something very unique happened in 2022 that does not happen very often. So the first month was February. That's our first solar month. And it was Run Yin, Yang Water Tiger, which is the same as 2022. And I remember seeing that thinking, oh, that's interesting. It's the same as the year. Didn't pay attention. Then the next month came and I realized that February was 2022, March 2023, April 2024. Each month this year represents the next 12 years. So our life is actually being laid out. We didn't know it, but it's being laid out.
Yeah,
this is very, very unique. It's very intentional. It does not happen very often. And this month, we're cresting that, and it's settling in, and we're realizing we're on our journey. So it's very, very purposeful. We're in a really good period of time. I know it doesn't feel that way for those that have lost money, COVID, but we had to clear the way. We had to go through.
We had to, yeah. I think many people are seeing the other side of it, and it could just be because here in Cleveland I have sun, and it's not the winter darkness right now. So we're all, maybe I'm just personally feeling very optimistic.
Yeah.
But that is and it's 111 right here, right now.
Yeah.
Think about it too from the aspect of everything we just started with 9 being eyes. It's like everything is telling us to be present. The third eye, use the eye, be intentional. Think about this energy layer to your life. Think about intentionality to your life. Also, if you're present enough and you look at how your March goes, if you look at how your March, April, May, June, July, if you are present and you look at these and you are intentional in your life starting today, if you haven't been already, you have such an upper hand to make the next 12 years for sure, right? You have such an upper hand to make this life that you want as perfect as you can physically make it. There's heaven luck. We've got somebody bigger than us we're co-creating with, but it's just like now more than ever, every modality, all the trends, everybody's seeing it, that intentional being present is like the answer.
And you just mentioned the heaven luck. So that's to do with the cosmic trinity, right? So heaven, man, and earth. So for to explain that, the heaven, I like to call it universe, because some people worry about heaven being spiritual. It is. But anyway, we'll call it the universe. The universe,
planets, God, creator, whatever you want to say. The creative universe.
It's also our BaZi. It's
something bigger than
it's
us.
Our spiritual side. Earth is Feng Shui, and what they call the man is the people, right? So when those three align, when we align those, life is good. And that's what you and I do, right? We check their Feng Shui, we look at their BaZi, and then we give them actions. So we align those three to make someone's life better. What happened though is, like I said, in December 2019, that alignment came out of whack. It just came out of alignment, and it doesn't realign until December 2023. So that's like saying you're walking down the street and you slip and you crick your back, right? And you take your back out. You can still walk, but every now and then you'll be like, oh, just out of alignment. It just doesn't feel right. And then you'll be good, and then, oh, I'm out of alignment. That's where we're at. Yeah. And we don't finish that until next December, but we're on the uphill swing. It's not all smooth sailing, because we're going to keep going along and like, oh, there's that back again. But it's coming. So when the cosmic trinity settles, when those three align again, it'll be easier. But we're not done yet.
But in the meantime, there are things you can do, everybody. So we're going to talk about what you can do here with your QiCast and your own BaZi. And that's as much of heaven luck as you have hands-on with. But your man luck, that's 33% of it. You can be working your mindset. You can be working on your personal health, your actions, and you can optimize that 33% and make that great. Then you can optimize your Feng Shui 33%. So the only thing that's like hard to deal with is what we can't control, which is kind of just life anyway. But you can like, that's like the story of life, right? But you can optimize your life. You can avoid it being difficult if you maximize the man luck and the earth luck. And I'll throw up some graphics to illustrate that better. But it doesn't have to be where 100% of it is against you. You can harness 66% and just make it easier. And that's that alignment. That's being in flow. And
such a valid point. Thank you for pointing it out, because it's so important, Jeanette, because people, I know you've heard it. People come to me like, I've been told I have a millionaire chart, BaZi chart. And I'm like, really? What the hell's that? But I'm not rich. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Or they'll say, my Feng Shui is perfect. I'm like, really? Well, why is your life still shit then? Like, it's, there are misconceptions there. People can be born, you can't always control, what I want to say is you can't always control where you live. You may be living somewhere because it's where you financially can be, or where you need to be, or you're helping family members. There's so many things that are out of your control, like you just said. You have to be in that physical place. You make it the best you can. And I think the best thing I'll say to someone with your space, if you haven't had it Feng Shuied and you can't do that right now, just declutter it and keep it bright. Those are the two big things. Just do that, and until you can get to one of us. The what you're born with, the BaZi, what comes from heaven. Well, you didn't choose when you were born. Actually, I'm going to take that back. There is a school of thought that says we do choose when we're born and who we're born to. But I'm going to pull that back and just say you're born when you're born. So you didn't get to choose it. So there's two factors. You have no choice. But you have control over your actions, educating yourself, being aware. Awareness is the biggest thing. When I look at my year ahead, when I look at my month, when I do the QiCast, when I do forecasts for clients, I just make people aware of things, because then you know. And then people come back and say, I didn't panic, Sam. When that thing happened, I remembered you said that. And I just kind of breathed my way through it. And I'm like, that's the point. I can't stop something from getting to you.
Right.
But I can make you aware so you handle it with ease. And I still chuckle because you weren't in my QiCast. And the other day I said, well, I'll send you one. And I sent it to you. And then you came back, you're like, bloody hell, Sam. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Right.
I had to take a pause on all conversations with Sam about BaZi for a second, because when I moved from Dallas to here, as many of I probably wasn't even vocal that much about it, but from probably November to like May was just in turmoil. Lots of change, lots of endings. I was like I can't handle forecasts right now. I need to recalibrate myself, and I need to focus on being present and what I can control, which is why I know how to help you all through this. Because I had my own, like, everything in my life destructed, and now I have this whole new life here and everything's good now. So I did have to take a pause from her forecasts. But speaking of which, let's talk about how people can use these now, and I want to share my experience with it. I had made notes about August, so I got back on it in August, and it was after the fact, so it was really cool because I was able to see what had already kind of happened and then come back to it. So I rewatched it, and I watched it a couple times, and it's just so funny. So to summarize, in August, in July, I made my Stagnant to Totally Bliss DIY Feng Shui program, and that was my July. I basically locked myself in this house and did that. I ate, slept, made this, played pickleball, and that was it. And somehow in all that, I attracted somebody. There was this relationship kind of forming. So when I did have a free hour, I was like watching this relationship evolve. And then in August, I'm a very decisive person. I believe that a lot of my success comes from my quick decisiveness and taking action, moving forward, and going with it. So when I can't make a decision about something, it's a big deal. And I had never been so 50-50 about something in a long time. Yeah. So I'm saying all this to say, so then I was sitting there and I was like, what can I do? I could see this relationship going this way. I can see my decision about this relationship going this way. I literally do not know what to do. And I asked myself, what am I supposed to learn from this? Did I learn it all? Yada, yada, yada. So anyway, after I have a psychic that I met in 2019, and I hadn't talked to her for a couple of years. I talked to her at some pretty big major moments, and I all of a sudden had this idea, I'm going to call my psychic. She's going to just tell me what to do, which psychics won't do, but they get you pretty far. They won't tell you what to do, but they get you pretty far. So I just had this intuitive hit. Here's another thing, guys. If you have this idea to do something, do it immediately. Act on it immediately. Don't talk yourself out of it. This is how your intuition works. And then your intuition talks to you more when you respect it by listening to it. I got this intuitive hit to call my psychic, ask her for guidance. We talked. It was funny because she was like, great, I can talk in an hour, which never happens. I was like, look at everything working out, how it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. She's available. Absolutely. Yada, yada. Talked to her, got clarity, decided what to do, which was end it. And great. All of this is to say, so then I watched Sam's August forecast, and the high points are, it said, you will have, I had so many bullet points, but let me just think on the top of my head. You will have noblemen this month. But you will only have noblemen if you reach out to them and you ask. Okay, nobleman is a wise advisor. I had talked to you, my wise advisor. I had talked to my psychic, my wise advisor. Great, because I got that intuitive hit to ask. It also, one of them said there's time to separate yourself from a difficult situation. You have maybe really tried something and it's not working. And for me, I knew it was a person. It could have been a career or something or whatever. And you said you'll feel free and liberated once the decision is made. The nobleman will come in, you ask for help, and you'll feel free after you've made the decision. Well, I had ended it. I did feel free. I was like, oh my God, I now have 50% of my brain back. I can focus on things that matter now that I've made this decision. So that hit the nail on the head. Diversify your portfolio. I had also finally had this intuitive hit, gotten around to finally removing some things, and adjusting my finances that I had been toying with for months. Did that. So it's so funny. And then on the budget, I was really buying all these little things that didn't a pack of all these flare pens and just a bunch of stuff like that. And it was watch your budget, reel it in. So these are 4 major ones that had already happened. We kind of do this with each other because we're both in this intuitive world and this energy world. And we kind of ask each other, hey, did that resonate? Hey, did that show up? We see that August energy is going to be the same and multiply. We play off each other, see how did it show up for you, so that we each learn. We love learning. So anyway, guys, this August QiCast was so accurate that then, of course, I've already watched my September. And
you had a look? Okay, good.
I already watched my September because what you do, so to come full circle, hopefully that wasn't too long of a tangent. To come full circle, we said, here's what you guys can do to take information, and knowledge is power, move forward knowing how to navigate things. Like you said, your friend, your client was like, I didn't overreact when that scenario happened. And for me, with August, I watched it after, but I saw how it all unfolded and that the intuitive hits I had were right and that I should follow them. So now with September, I look at my forecast. I've done my Feng Shui. I've updated my Feng Shui. I know what I'm working with on the earth luck portion of my life. And now I'm looking at this heaven luck and man luck side. And I say, what am I going to potentially come up against across? How can I use this forecast to watch my actions?
Well, and it's a good topic for us to talk about, because I mean, one of my taglines is I'm the life alignment guide, right? I align people to their purpose. I align their Feng Shui, just like you, their Batsa, Qi Men, the whole thing. So I help align them. So one of my masters many years ago said this sentence, oh, well, we don't predict, but we can show probabilities. So I love that. And Joey Yap feels the same way. We don't predict, but we can show probable events occurring. And when I mean that, they're really probably occurring. It's
real
quite
probable, yeah.
And what one master said, well, forewarned is forearmed. And I was like, oh God, that's such a negative comment. Sort of is, but it's kind of true. So for, and I've been in the business 12 years. So I've seen a lot of things, and I do these annual updates for people and they love them. And people start saying, well, could you just do me an update each month? And I'm like, well, I can, but it's a lot of work. And I don't know if it needs to look different. So I came up with this system. And the QiCast is a blend of two words. Qi, Q-I. I know it's phonetically C-H-I, but it's Qi. That's how it really is spelled.
Yeah.
And forecast, I just took cast and I put them together. QiCast. It's a forecast based on your Qi. But it's not done in a way that's been done before. So traditionally, we look at, well, we all read the horoscope. So we look at Western horoscope, right? We read the month. We look at Eastern horoscope, we read the year we were born.
Yeah.
So if you're born, 1966 is a horse. 1967 is the goat. And we say, oh, I'm a horse, I'm a goat, I'll go read that. Yes.
So many people don't resonate totally with the year, though.
No, or there'll be a piece. There'll be a piece that will, because I've said this before, and I know we've talked about it. The year is 1/365th of you.
Right.
The month is 1/12 of you. The day is you. And the hour is really intense. So I do these forecasts based on the day you were born, something called your daymaster. And there's 10 of them. And, the year I can work out in my head. The month I can do in my head. The day has to be calculated because there's a few things. So I have a calculator on my site, QiProSam.com. Go to the Daymaster calculator. You can find your daymaster. And I absolutely advise everyone to go and try this because you will love it. And there's 10 daymasters. And then I look each month and I look at the daymaster. I look at the month, I look at their hexagram associated with that daymaster. I look at the position in the year. So a lot of back work happens. What the front end user gets is a very entertaining video.
Yeah.
I have an introduction and then I talk about, very specifics. I give you 3 go-to words. I talk about things coming your way, how to handle them. And then I give out some secret lucky dates at the end, which everybody loves. Yes. And so they're quite intense, and I loved your reaction because you were already experiencing stuff, and I had recorded your video 6 weeks before.
Yeah, she had done it.
Nothing that was going on.
Because you have subscribers, like there's like people who.
So I've got a subscription list on this. This is a subscription thing, and you can try it for the month. You can try it for free, but if you do the year, you get a much better deal. And we're building in a calendar that people can download, so it gives you the dates. So that's coming.
So for the people who want lucky dates, and that's how those are big days to capitalize on when you have a big launch or something.
Yeah, I'll often give out, I call them yay and nay days. So my yay days, I'll just pick out a few each month that are generically good, because when I'm doing date selection for a client, I really layer in their birth chart, their Feng Shui, and find an exact date for something. But I don't know my subscribers' Feng Shui and stuff. So what I do is give out dates that I say, this is a great date to launch a product. Yeah. This is a great day to network. These are what I call nay days, which are break days, and the energy's in flux. So just don't do a big thing that day. Just kind of lay low.
Yeah.
But I did pull up the 10 taglines for September. If you, the taglines, like each forecast I do, I give people a tagline. So I've got them there. I've got a couple we could read if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so to summarize before you read them, so everybody, you now know we have gone over, how to finish off 2022, change. It's not even change is coming, just to change, to go with it, to know that leaving things in the past is a good thing. That's how to finish off 2022.
Don't fight it, go with it.
Don't fight it, go with it. Then, and that the future is female, and also this intuitive, metaphysical way of doing things.
Yeah.
Then, after you watch your Feng Shui forecast and you've upgraded, you've maximized that earth luck, that 33% of you've optimized the energy in your space to be the wind at your back as you take action. Now you look at your monthly QiCast that tells you specifically what this is, that heaven luck energy coming down, and how you can align your actions with that month, and maybe why you're going to feel something. It'll kind of give you insight on why you're going to feel what you feel potentially.
Yeah, it does. It's awareness. It's the biggest thing of anything is awareness. You know, like I said, the Feng Shui is the foundation. As the people, I call it the stage. Right. So your Feng Shui is your stage. Your BaZi is your performance skills, and you are the actual actor walking on the stage. So when we put all three in position, it's good. Like if you walk on the stage but don't know your stage, don't know your Feng Shui, you could stand where the trap door is, and halfway through your performance, the door opens, you're gone. Or you go on the stage and you're not in the spotlight because you're standing in the wrong spot.
Right.
You're kind of like trying to inch to the light, right? So aligning three of them is always the way. And the QiCast, like they're picking up such momentum because they're just so simple for you. They're not simple for me to do, but they're so simple to get. And you get so many tips in there, and it so helps.
Well, the reason they're picking up is because they're way better than a horoscope. People are done reading their horoscopes in Cosmo. People need answers. They want to get through the jargon of every freaking random YouTuber that thinks they're a tarot card reader and can predict your future. Stop watching those and just get insight that's specifically based on your birthday. This is for you. This is not like, it's fun to occasionally go down that YouTube rabbit hole and listen to all like your tarot card readings. They're not real. Watch these QiCasts to actually get some true like knowledge and wisdom about how to go forward. So anyway, we can pump them forever, but
it's a scientific base. So so metaphysics is not intuition in metaphysics really helps, of course, but the base of it is scientific. It's
science,
factual, right? But we're moving from a time of, like I said, this period 8 to period 9. We're moving from a time where we had to build. The hand is all about doing and building. So we built things and we did what we were told. You know, we bought the house, we have the car, we have the 2.3 kids and the 1.2 dogs and the BMW in the driveway. And yet, my life isn't what I thought it would be. Good, because we're moving to a period of time that says, you don't need to build all those things. You just need to be more aware. You actually need to be more aware of your surroundings, and you don't actually need all the, we're actually going to let go of things. Our whole approach to real estate, our whole approach to ownership of anything is going to shift. We're not going to want to own as much because that's what the hand did. It grabbed. So the hand grabbed. The third eye, the spiritual side, is more saying, no, actually, I have enough. My life is good because in my day, I get to do the things I want to do, and I have enough money. I'm not working for more money. I don't need more money. I'm just going to pay more tax. Why would I do that? I just did that with my financial advisor. I said, I want you to flip everything and do it because if I make too much, I just pay more tax. What's the point? So I'm just slowing down and like, this is my happy zone, right? It allows me to do everything I want. So the QiCasts are the easiest way forward. And watch how many other people are going to come out with this. Now that I've set, I'm a bit of a trailblazer. I'm always doing things ahead of the time. You will see other people starting to talk about daymasters and doing forecasts. It's going to grow. I'm just the first one doing it, but my approach is different from everyone else's. I make it very palatable and give action points. So that's why I think mine are better.
That's why you're here on this channel and not other people. So anyway, what are these 10 headlines, these 10?
All right. Do you want it? So we've got, as you and I know, but for your listeners, we have 10 daymasters, and basically it's a breakdown of the 5 elements. So in Chinese metaphysics, those would be water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. And there's 5 of them, and they each break into a yin and a yang, so they become 10. So forgive me, I've got this on my screen. I'm going to have to read it, or I'm not going to be able to not do that properly. So I'm going to go through them sort of quickly, but this is an example of what you're going to see when you go into your September QiCast, which you're all going to do after this video because it's free to do. So why wouldn't you do it? But you're going to go do it.
You get that 1 month by free, that 1 month free trial. So go
and also,
find out.
When you go in and do the trial, I keep all the other videos for the previous year there. So if you want to test me,
oh,
you want to see how
wow.
good I am, go back and look at the other months and think about things that happened. You will see the pattern. You will see the
I didn't even
connection.
know that.
You'll be like, oh my God. Because once you have a Sam, you wonder how you ever got along with that one.
Yes.
But let's have a look at the 10 day masters. So the first two are Ja and Yi. These are wood day masters. So Ja is Yang. So the tagline, the leader for you is don't back away from a challenge, as that will be your breakthrough this month. Oh, and have you listened to ABBA lately? And that was my play on words, because for Ja, it's all about money, money, money.
Ah, that used to be my that used to be my alarm clock for a while.
I know, I love ABBA. I love ABBA. So for Yi, which is Yin wood, it's your time to shine. So no hiding in the background. Dabble with some honey this month and be aware who sings your praises. And the reason I said that is because Yi Day Masters are going to have some fake followers who praise them, but they're after something. But don't turn around and sting them like a bee. Treat it with honey and you'll get further ahead. But you've got some snakes in the grass around you. Now the next one's a fire. So Bing and Ding. Bing is Yang fire. And this one was order, school is in session. Don't be that rebel without a cause. If you're going to change something, change it for a reason. So Bing Day Masters are very specific. So this is how they're reacting to September. And they are very much going to learn a lot this month, which they may not like, because Bings don't like to learn. They like to be the ones teaching. Ding, which is me. Ding is you got peeps who can help you this month. So let them. So I'm going to share with that. I don't let people help me. I like to do it all by myself. And this month I've realized that's not working. So I have actually contracted work out to help with things and just pulled more people in to help me with stuff, because they're there. And actually Ding has noblemen this month. If you're not entirely sure of your landscape, put yourself in that landscape to gain a different vantage point. So what I meant there for the Yin fire people is put yourself in your client's shoes, put yourself in your friend's shoes, your colleague's shoes, and view it from their viewpoint, because you're not looking at it the right way. You need to change. Then we come to the earth, which I think one of us here might be, but the first one's Wu, which is Yang. It says your future is calling. Make sure your phone is not on Do Not Disturb. You got to switch it up. It's time to enter a new stream. So lots of opportunities coming for the Wu Yang Earth Day Masters.
I have a lot of Yang Earth clients that I'll have to say.
Yeah, because they're action. They're action this month. G, which is the Yin Earth, that's me. Is getting an A important to you. You're about to be tested. Be mindful of rules in how you set them, and who may set them over you, and who you may set them over. So this is just, I love this one for you. I thought it was fun because I know that you are extremely driven, extremely capable, and always completing a task is very important, and you will, but you're going to be tested this month, Jeanette. So just be ready for that and just lighten up, okay? Be kind to yourself. Just lighten up.
That's the part of that I heard that I was like,
I know.
We'll see.
Oh, I knew which bit you didn't like. I know. Then we move to the Metal Day Master. So if you're a Gung Day Master, it was, oh my, it's all eyes on you, and you may not like it. Oh dear. Cultivate a positive mindset, focus forward, and for Cripe's sake, stay in your lane. Interesting for Gung. So Metal Day Masters are getting a root inside the Rooster this month. This is how I do what I do. But it was to do with their Chi-Men as well. But for Gung, it's a bit tricky. There's a few barbs may come their way, and they may not like the spotlight. Spotlight is good, except when someone's saying, hey, did you see what John in accounting just did? He screwed up. We don't always like the spotlight. So there's a few things coming at Gung Day Masters that aren't so great. So positive mindset is how we'll get through that. Shin, and this is my son, it's time to scope out your landscape and zoom in on specifics. You may not connect all the dots just yet, but the picture is forming. The pixels are forming piece by piece. Don't rush it. So I love it because my son actually called me last night and said, Mom, I watched my QiCast. And by the way, he won't let me give it to him for free. He has to pay. He's insistent. It's so funny. And he said, Mom, I got it. I get it. And he'd already mapped out his month because he's like that. That's what Shin Day Masters are like, actually, very precise. And he says, oh, I've already got it. So you're saying that some of my clients are going to be different. I got to look at it, step into their world and change my offers, my work I do for them. And he'd already mapped it out. And I'm like, yep, he's my perfect little QiCaster.
Oh
So
my
he
gosh.
finds them useful, even though I'm his mum and he comes back and asks me things all the time. He plans his month based on his QiCast. So it's
Good
quite
for him.
Yeah, I know.
And he's very successful with his business.
He's very successful. He runs his own company and he's employed in his profession. He's got it going together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the last ones are water daymasters. There's two. So the yang one is run, REM. It says revamp time. Okay, revamp time, run. You got to shake things up this month and remove what no longer serves you. Huge for run daymasters. And I've got some good friends that are run and I'm watching them go through it and it's painful. Because they're not liking that they're having to say goodbye to things and let things go. And I'm like, you have to. That person's not working for you. The situation's not working for you. You must move on.
And how great when something gives us permission. Sometimes it's just easier when like something gives us permission to do it. Like the psychic. Yep. I could have made that decision. I could have I wasn't leaning anywhere. I was on that fence. But one of my options was to end things and move on. And I don't know, I just kind of needed somebody to, sometimes. And so these QiCasts can also be the thing that it's like, okay, this is meant to happen. So it makes it easier.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And I'm going to add a personal thing in here too, because the last bit for Ron was, and take a look at those habits of yours. Are they serving you purposefully? Mm-hmm. So I had a direct interaction with a run this month. And what was tricky, and this was really hard. This was actually really hard because what was tricky is one of the things he had to say goodbye to, I felt was me. I said, no, we need to actually part for a while. But we're not an item, we're just a friendship. But friendship. I said, we need some space. We need some space because we're not good for each other right now. And it was really hard. He did not want to do that. And I'm like, no, we have to. We actually have to do this. Mm-hmm. It will be better. It's like breaking something apart to rebuild it better. So for runs this month, they had a really hard month last month and they've got a tough one this month. Mm. But if they change things and if they are smart and use the information, they will come through the month okay. But it is tough. So I feel I've got two really good friends, one male, one female, that are run daymasters. And this is not, I'm in pain for them because they're having to end some things and they don't want to, they're fighting it. And I'm coaxing them along because they have to do it. They have to do it. It's the best for them. And the last one for the water is Gua. And this one was, have you ever asked yourself that negative, what if question? Flip it, okay? What if? Not what if. What if? This is the month to understand the exhilaration of what could actually be. 2022 is for those who dare. And for this month, Gua Daymasters, you gotta dare. So that's the kind of thing I talk about. So those are just like the tagline for each. I go into it's usually about a 10-minute forecast. That's a teaser of what I do each month. Mm-hmm. And I don't care how it sounds. They're awesome.
They are awesome. Yeah.
They are awesome.
Yeah.
And I gather feedback, and the calendar came up as a question. People are like, I write your days down, but I wish I could just subscribe. And I'm like, okay, so we're building that right now. That's going to be up hopefully by October forecast, but it's going to be up as soon as we can get it up. So. Yeah,
it's so cool.
No, all I was going to say, the biggest thing about this year is I want people to know that we had that. It's a tiger year. The first half was chaotic because there was no interaction of chi, right? It was blocked. The interaction is now here. Once we do this, we can build. We can create something. So we're shifting. You must say goodbye. Do not make the mistake of looking in your rearview mirror and imagining and fantasizing about what was and making it better than it was. It was not. It's in your rearview mirror for a reason. Yeah. So all this month, you're going to be challenged with that, everyone, because it's Mercury retrograde. So when that happens, we go back. We think, that boyfriend, maybe he was the right one. Oh, that thing, maybe that is the right thing. No. That's all I'm going to say. Forward, ladies. Yes. And ladies, if you're feeling really confused, you don't understand, know that you're not alone. We're all feeling it. So just keep working through it. But do not back down. Be authentic. Be true to what you want.
Very cool. Well, everybody, you have seen this pop up. Head to QiProSam.com for your monthly feng shui QiCast. Your first month is free. Just go, just try it. Put in your email.
Go in there. Do yourself a favor. Watch all the other ones.
Yeah, watch the past ones. Now I'm going to go back in.
Take advantage of it. I'm happy. I love to give all this stuff away. So just do it. But literally, for the price of a coffee and a croissant, that's your QiCast. Why wouldn't you do it? I've made it because my consults are quite high. They're quite expensive. I designed this at a price point that works because ultimately I want people to have it. I can't necessarily give it away for free. It costs me money to make them, but I've made it so affordable. It's not even funny. So,
they're fun and they're enjoyable. They're high quality and everybody is more successful for them. So thank you so much. And then she also has a podcast you guys can listen to, QiProSam, where you find all your podcasts. If you guys like this video just a little bit, like this video, if you got any value whatsoever, or you just enjoy this content to help promote us, to help support us, please subscribe to this video. Comment below which part you enjoyed. Comment below what your Daymaster is. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.
I can't wait to hear what your clients think about their QiCast when they talk with you.
They will. Love it. All right. See you guys.